So the horrible stimulus package, if you can even call it that, because a vast majority of the things packed into that 5,000 plus page legislation have nothing to do with actually helping out the working class who's greatly suffering right now in the United States. But by and large, all of the Democrats in the House supported it, with the exception of two Rashida Tlaib, Michigan, and Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii. And along with, I'm not sure if any Democrats voted against it in the Senate. It says Ted Cruz, Rand Paul voted against it. You see, I mean, it passed 92-6. So, I mean, a consensus on both sides of the aisle, mostly, I should say. And then in the House, 359-53. Again, I listed the two Democrats who voted against it, and then Justin Amash, and then the other 50 would have been Republicans. Let's see if it lists if there was any Democratic senators. Let's see. So this is interesting, yeah. AOC also raised concern about the time lawmakers had been given to read the document. Again, this thing was over 5,000 pages. Like, would have been like fucking a book, that fucking big. A matter of hours before they're expected to vote. However, she voted in favor. She voted in favor of this, even though it was totally inadequate from the stance of actually addressing the material needs of the working class right now, which again are great, and then all the other shit that's packed in there. But she voted in favor. What the fuck, AOC? In the statement explaining why it opposed the bill, Representative Paul Gosar, our Arizona, also took issue with the timing. No member can honestly say they know exactly what they voted for this evening. That is a reason alone to. I agree. Just because you're a Republican doesn't mean that you're not able to make good points sometimes, and that's true. Representative Paul Massey raised the same. Kudos to fucking Rashida Tlaib, though, for voting against that. She's completely correct. The bill is completely inadequate. I mean, Sir, Senator Cruz making a point here. It's absurd to have a 2.5 trillion spending bill negotiated in secret and then hours later demand an up or down vote on a bill nobody has had time to read. I agree. It should have been a fucking standalone thing. Vote on checks. Vote on unemployment insurance. Boom. Don't pack it in here with all this other dog shit. So this is what Tlaib said. My duty is to show up and represent my district. The 13th district was already struggling before COVID-19 because they have been told over and over again to wait for meaningful change. We can't wait any longer. I voted no on the COVID bill. Our folks are dying, and we waited enough. This bill will only last a month. Folks won't be able to survive with this bill as is. It's true. $600, you can't afford rent. You can't afford anything in the U.S. on $600 fucking dollar survival check. You're not surviving a month on that. She's completely right. COVID-19 will force an additional 8 million people into poverty. The plan leaves behind people with no support for adult dependents. Just disgusting. No hazard pay for essential workers, no student loan relief, no recurring stimulus payment, no retroactive unemployment insurance, no water shut-off moratorium, no aid to state and local. And then we'll look shortly at all the fucking dog shit that it does contain. I mean, come on. Let's get real. It is disgraceful. What the fuck? This is what the American people feel tonight. We have billions of your tax dollars for corporate meal expenses and a racist border wall, but only scraps for those struggling to pay for food, rent, and healthcare. It's disgraceful. She's completely correct. So there was Rashida Tlaib's reasons for not supporting this disastrous bill, and then the other, again, Democratic House member who voted against it was Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii, and then we'll see what Tulsi has to say on this.
just got back from having voted on the House floor on this massive spending bill. I voted against it, and I wanted to tell you why. First of all, this bill was over 5,500 pages.
She's right.
We received the text of this bill at approximately 2:30 this afternoon, and we're told we'd have to
That
go
is
vote
fucking
on it
ridiculous,
just a few
dude.
hours later. There is no way that anybody in Congress had the opportunity or the time to go through and read this bill to know.
And because they didn't, they were ended up voting for a lot of really shitty things they probably didn't even know about, because they just, well, it's better that people get something than nothing, and then not realizing all the other horrible things that were attached to this. Like, she's completely right. You get it at 2 p.m. that afternoon, you need a week or 2 weeks for people and their staff and their advisors to go over. I mean, that's ridiculous. 5,000 pages.
I've been here long enough to see how provisions are snuck into these bills literally in the dark of night, without any announcement, without telling anyone what is in it, and then rushed through in the manner that we have just seen tonight. This is the height of irresponsibility, and it is absolutely no way for the people's representatives to be able to represent the interests
of them,
the American people.
Yes.
The second thing is, the central part of this bill is supposed to be about providing direct relief to the American people who are struggling and who need help the most. This bill dished out hundreds of billions of dollars going towards special interests, going towards
war,
the industrial complex, going towards foreign countries. Meanwhile, saying, here's what's left for you. You get $600. I'll tell you, in Hawaii, that in most cases won't even cover 25% of your rent. It is an insult and a slap in the face to every single American in this country
100%.
who is struggling because of this COVID pandemic, who is concerned about not being able to pay the rent, about eviction, about whether you'll have enough to buy groceries or medicine for yourself or your loved ones. This bill is a representation of the screwed up priorities of Washington.
Yeah, she's right.
It should be fighting for you and making sure that you,
but they
the
ain't.
American people, come first. This bill did not do that.
And yet, all those so-called progressive members of the House caucus voted for it. Everybody, all the Democrats besides Tulsi and Rashida Tlaib supported it. I mean, it's disgusting. Let's see. Oh, and then, so a little bit of all the dog shit that's actually included in this 5,000-page monstrosity. $177 million in grants for Israeli missile systems. 64 pages of horse racing laws. Makes illegal streaming a felony. Memes are basically illegal now. Supports reincarnation in the Dalai Lama. $33 million for regime change in Venezuela. We need a guillotine emoji now from Alan McLeod. Not that regulation of horse racing or taking a stance in the Dalai Lama is wrong. Just not something lawmakers should be bothering with right now. Precisely. But that's what all those people voted on, probably without even knowing it, because they thought they had to. And I don't know why you would vote on a 5,000-page bill if you got it literally that afternoon and had to vote on it. Yeah, here's the provision for the overthrowing the Venezuelan government. Economic support fund, not less than $33 million, shall be available for democracy programs in Venezuela. I mean, Jesus Christ. There's also over $3.2 billion set aside just so the army can buy more fucking missiles, and you get measly fucking $600 just a slap in the face. It's disgusting. Getting their priorities straight. The COVID relief bill also sets aside over $19 billion for the procurement of Navy aircraft. Yes, because the military and fucking industrial complex isn't already disgusting and bloated enough. I mean, for fuck's sake. Here's a list of all the new ships the Navy has managed to buy with the COVID relief money. I mean, the word missile appears 19 times in the COVID relief bill. Aircraft appears 208 times. Munition, 46. Weapon, 46. Healthcare, 24. DOS, or doctor, nurse, 5. Mask, 0. I mean, for fuck's sake. Yeah, this is a good point. As a few people have pointed out, the COVID bill itself is actually only a small part of the huge spending package this comes from. It's a small but semantically important point. Most media outlets aren't distinguishing between them, e.g. CNN. So when the above tweet said COVID relief bill, it should read huge spending bill that COVID relief comes attached to. And again, only a very small chunk of that's actually devoted to helping the working class right now, which Tulsi and Rashida both correctly pointed out are really, really struggling right now. Tens of millions of people have lost their jobs. Tens of millions of people have lost their health care. Lots of people are on the verge of facing eviction. Tens of millions of people might be kicked out of their fucking homes, and this is the best they can do. And then just go along and vote for this monstrosity without actually knowing what's in it, and has all of these horrible things, as this thread by Alan McLeod points out. It's disgusting, but kudos to Rashida Tlaib and Tulsi Gabbard for taking the fucking correct stance. I mean, again, the bill is inadequate enough, and then you throw in all this other dog shit that was in this 5,000 page monstrosity. Why would anybody vote for it if they literally had hours to go through this 5,000 fucking page document? It makes literally no sense. That's disgusting. All those other progressive members of Congress, including the squad, looking at you, AOC, Ilhan Omar, Ayanna Pressley. WTF? What the fuck? Come on. Those are my thoughts. Share yours down below. If you like the video, like the damn video. If not, that's cool too. Subscribe for more content. Peace.